Well, happy Thursday to everybody. Hope your day is doing or going well. We have the fourth game on the July 1st docket. Coming to you from north of the border, New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays from Exhibition Stadium. Game 531 overall on the replay. Exhibition Stadium is a symmetrical ballpark. Singles are 1 to 9, home runs 1 to 11, both sides of the plate. Two left-handers on the mound for each team. Tommy John for the Yankees and Jimmy Key for the Toronto Blue Jays. Jimmy Key is without question, or has been without question, in the first 3 months of the season, the best pitcher in this replay. He is 14-2 on the replay, so he has been lights out almost, although he has lost. I think he lost his last game, so we'll see if he's coming back down to earth or not. We'll look at Tommy John later. Focus now mostly on Jimmy Key. And we'll get the game up on the Strat-O-Matic computer. That's the last step so that I can give you the up-to-the-minute replay stats on these two teams. Good morning, Dan and Jeff. Good to see both of you. And naturally, coffee is at the standby. It's like the American Express card. I don't go upstairs without it. Not in the mornings, anyway. In the evenings, I don't drink coffee, in the nighttime. But in the mornings, you can better believe I'm going to have my coffee here. And this is my third cup of coffee. I've already had 2 cups. This is my third and final cup that will be going on. I will switch over to water after this, but right now, coffee still rules the day. All right, so let's look at Jimmy Key, both on the replay and real world. Jimmy Key, real world, 1987, 17-8 with a 276 earned run average. That's the 1987 numbers, 17-8. He's already 14-2 on the replay, but his ERA is 1.69, a more than one ERA point better than real world. 138 innings pitched, 101 hits, 30 walks, and 100 strikeouts. So obviously the numbers there are really, really good. Plus, I think he's gotten some decent run support as well. He's also excellent at holding runners. He's a -6. So even though Charlie Moore is a +2, he's still a -4 on the whole, which is really, really good. His wild pitch is a 6 and his balks an 8. So Ricky Henderson for the Yankees will do the leading off. Ricky Henderson is playing as the designated hitter today. He's not going to be in the outfield. He'll be the DH. And he's hitting .328 on the replay, 9 homers, 31 driven in. He hit .291 real world. And, of course, before the first pitch, we have the aforementioned first sip, which is the ceremonial first sip is one of the traditions I'm glad I got going. And been able to obviously keep that because I'm going to be drinking the coffee in the morning. So coffee and Strat, kind of a good combination. Here's Ricky. That's a 3-10 against Jimmy Key, and that's a split. 1 to 9's a single. 10 to 20, he lines it to Fernandez at short. And that's line to short. Tony Fernandez snags it. Good idea for Jimmy Key to keep Ricky off the bases. That brings up Bobby Meacham. They are giving Willie Randolph the game off. So Bobby Meacham is actually going to play shortstop. Paul Zuvella's at second and Tollison's at third. So they're getting all the right-handed lineup guys in there. So they don't have Pagliarulo at third, and they're giving Randolph the game off for whatever reason. So Bobby Meacham hitting .259 on the replay, a homer and 3 driven in. He hit .271 real world. And that's a 6-10, and that's going to be a ground ball third base X. That's going to be Kelly Gruber. Gruber is a 3 E24, so the first X chance of the game. 3 E24, 3 and a 5. 3 and a 5 is barely good enough. It's G3. The pound's irrelevant, but the G3 is there, and he makes the play there, or at least gets to it. Now he's got to avoid the error. 24, E24, 9, 12, 3, 15, and 18. And that is a 5, which is a rare play. But as we know with Strat-O-Matic, anytime the bases are empty in particular, rare plays are not so rare. So if we go to the G3 just for fun and look at the rare play, it's the shot off the mound that deflects to the fielder, which is like the sorriest excuse of a rare play I've ever seen in my life. And that's going to make it just a 5-3 ground out. Almost only want to acknowledge it's a rare play because it's so bad. All right, here is Don Mattingly. Donnie Baseball, 302 average on the replay, 9 homers, 32 driven in. He had 327 real world, I should say. 311, lefty. That's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-9 at Exhibition Stadium. And that for Mattingly is an 18, so that means that's no good. So that's going to end up being a line drive to second base to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down go the Yankees here in their half of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Yankees nothing, Toronto coming to bat. And the venerable Tommy John. Talk about somebody that should be in the Hall of Fame. That's a guy that ought to be in the Hall of Fame. No question. He's got a surgery named after him, for goodness sakes. Plus, he's got his pitching credentials, I think, don't take a back seat to anybody. Tommy John in this particular season, 1987, was 13-6 with a 4.03 ERA. On the replay, he's 4-3 with a 3.53 ERA, 97 innings pitched, 102 hits, 30 walks, 35 strikeouts. And Tony Fernandez, the shortstop, will lead us off. Tommy John is a -1 hold. He's a 0 hold, but Rick Cerrone's a -1 for a -1 hold. He's got a 10 wild pitch, but no balk. So we'll see how Tommy John does against Tony Fernandez, hitting .334 on the replay. 3 homers, 27 driven in. He hit .322 real world. And we get a 5-9. Right, switch hitter batting right-handed. That's a pop out to Mattingly at first base. Easy out there for Tommy John. Good start for him. And Lloyd Moseby, the batter, center fielder. Moseby hitting .336 on the replay. 20 homers, 65 driven in. He hit .282 real world. 6'4", lefty. That's another pop out. This one to short, where Bobby Meacham puts it away. 2 up and 2 down. Soft contact all the way around. Here comes Jesse Barfield. Leads the replay in home runs with 30. He's hitting .333, 30 home runs, 75 driven in. Hit .263 real world. He's already exceeded his full season home run total in just half of his at-bats. That's a 110, and that's a ballpark blast. Once again, 1-11, and he's going to hit home run number 31. 1-11. And he does. Home run number 31 for Jesse Barfield. He continues to add to his league lead. Home run number 31 for Barfield. RBI number 76. And the Yankees fall behind 1-0 to the Blue Jays as they're all in pursuit of Milwaukee. Here's George Bell, left fielder, hitting .295. 25 homers, 70 driven in. That's on the replay. In the real season, he hit .308 with 47 home runs. 1-6, and that's a straight out. There you go, Jeff. If you're watching here, that's clean as a baby's behind. 1-6, left-handed. There he is, solid as can be. No D20 needed. It's clean as can be. 1-6. And that's a home run for George Bell. Back-to-back jacks from the 2 power guys, Barfield and Bell, have given the Blue Jays a 2-0 lead. This is after Tommy John got up to a very good start. For Bell, that's home run number 26 on the replay, RBI 71. And the Jays lead it 2-0. And here comes Big Cecil Fielder, designated hitter. Fielder hitting .283 on the replay, 15 homers, 27 driven in. He hit .269 real world. That's a 1-11, and that's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-9 for Fielder. And that fails, so we'll keep the ground ball to short. And that ends the inning. But 2 runs for the Blue Jays on solo home runs from Barfield and Bell. And at the end of 1, it's Blue Jays 2, Yankees nothing. And here comes Mr. May, Dave Winfield. We're in July now, but this is Mr. May. Good morning, Jeremiah. Winfield on the replay. Checks in. 260. 18 homers, 49 driven in. He at 275 real world. 4-9, and that's going to be a pop out to third base where Kelly Gruber will take care of it. 1 away. Brings up the left fielder, Gary Ward. Ward hitting 207 on the replay. 7 homers, 28 driven in. He at 248 real world. 5-7 against the right-hander is a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Garth Orge. He is a 4 E13 for Garth Orge. Not much range. But a 4 and 11, he should get to it. He does. It's a G3. That's all that's needed. E13 at a second base. He's got to avoid 14, 3, and 18. 14, 3, and 18. And he does just that, so Garth Orge makes the play. 2 up and 2 down. Takes us to center fielder Claudell Washington. Washington on the replay is hitting 291, 2 homers, 18 driven in. Hit 279 real world. That's a 6-5 and lefty. 20 is a single for Claudell. A single for Claudell. First base hit of the game for Claudell. Could try to get the lead. Got that -4 sitting there. You do have Rick Cerrone. You know what? He's going to try for the lead. He is going to attempt to get the lead, but he has to roll a 6 to get the lead. That's his only lead number is 6. He doesn't get it. He'll hold. That brings up Rick Cerrone, the catcher. Cerrone, 71 on the replay, 3 homers, 17 in, 3 real world. 4-10, and that's going to be a fly to center field that Mosby hauls in. And that'll take care of the Yankees in the second. Go to the bottom of the second. Still 2-0 Jays. Tommy John back out. Will face Kelly Gruber to start things off for the Blue Jays. Gruber on the replay is hitting 295, 8 homers, 25 driven in. He at 235 real world. That's a 5-3 against Tommy John. Ground ball pitcher X. Tommy John's an E38. Computer says he's a 3 range, but the E38 might get him more than the 3 range does. Let's check it out. He's a 3 and a 4. That's going to be a base hit, I do believe. 3 and 4 is a G3. He just does get to it, but now you got to worry about the E38. There are a lot of errors here at E38. 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, and 18. It's going to be hard to miss this. That's a 7, though. I think he managed to get around it. The E38 error ratings, 6 and 8. There is no 7. So somehow Tommy John managed to make the play without an error. So 1 away. Sometimes you need to be a little lucky. Here's Willie Upshaw, first baseman. He's hitting 206 on the replay. 3 homers, 22 driven in. He hit 244 real world. Pretty much the only Blue Jay who's underperforming. 3-4. When I say underperforming, I mean compared to real stats. 3-4, and he's not underperforming here. 1-12 is a triple. 13-20 is a double. That's going to be a triple for Willie Upshaw. Upshaw had 4 triples real world. This is his 3rd triple at the replay. So while his average is low, his production on these extra base hits is going along just fine. And now the Yankees are going to play the infield in with 1 runner at third. They feel they have to bring the infield in. And Charlie Moore, your winner. Moore hitting 154 on the replay. A homer and 3 driven in. He at 215 real world, but the infield is in. And that's a full 3, and that's a walk. So puts runners on the corners. First walk, and now somebody's mowing the lawn. They're very loud about it, too, right next door. Oh, well, I can't control that. I get the window shut, and I can still hear it. So that's how loud this. It's not like a push. I mean, this is like an industrial mower out there, so that's why it's making so much noise. Especially when this side of their yard is right next to ours, it's going to make some noise. So hopefully they'll pass quickly. Trying to beat the storm and the heat today, I guess. Heat index is the temperature is supposed to be near 100 today, with thunderstorms tonight. So typical unstable mid-Atlantic summer weather. All right, here is Garth Orge. Or was that, I'm sorry. Yeah, Garth Orge. Garth Orge is hitting 148 on the replay. No homers, 13 driven in. He at 210 real world. Infield playing for the double play. We get a 3-3. It's the lefty. That's a pop out to Meacham at short. 2 down. Flips the lineup over to the shortstop and leadoff hitter Tony Fernandez in a clutch situation for Fernandez. In the clutch against lefties, he's completely neutral. He has no change. Good morning, Joel. 1-9, and that's going to be a single to center field, and that will produce another run. Upshaw will score. The single on the 1-9 goes to center field. Moore doesn't run very well, so he'll just go one base. He'll just go to second base. RBI single off the bat of Tony Fernandez, and the Blue Jays lead it 3-0. I'm going to turn the window air conditioning unit on. Maybe the noise from the unit will drown a little more. I don't know. All right, here's Lloyd Mosby. First and second, 2 outs. Runners, it's again a clutch situation. 3-9, he loses the hit in the clutch. That's a 5-6, lefty. It's popped up to Mattingly, and that'll end the inning. Do it for the Jays, but they take a 3-0 lead as we go to the top of the third. Turn that lead over to Jimmy Key. Phenomenal Yankee. He hit 176 in 34 real-life at-bats with no power. However, in the replay, in 5 at-bats, he's hitting 400. He's 2 for 5. So, but that's sample size for you. You figure the law of averages will catch up with him. Against lefties, he has no hits on his card whatsoever, so the only way he's getting on base is from Jimmy Key. That's a 6-5, and hit off Jimmy Key again. Unbelievable. 6-5 is a 1-5 triple. 6-20 is a single. That's a single. Paul Zuvella, and Zuvella now is hitting 500. He's 3 out of 6 on the play. Again, sample size extremely small. Here's Wayne Tollison. Tollison is hitting 239 on the replay. 3 homers, 21 driven in. He had 221 real world. Switch hit, right-handed. That's a 110, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9 will be a base hit. Anything else, he lines it to short. And that's a liner right to Meacham. 1 away. Now I got a feeling the air conditioner and the mower are both chiming in, so maybe I'll turn the air conditioner back off and we'll just deal with the mower sounds, I guess. I don't know. Until they finish with that side of the yard. You would think on a riding mower that's, kind of a commercial type thing, you would think they would get through that pretty quickly. All right, here is Ricky Henderson. That's a 5-4, and that's a ballpark single check for Henderson. It's going to be again a 1-9, and again this time he's going to pop it up to first. 2 down, and that'll send up Bobby Meacham. Meacham grounded to third his first time up. 9 against the righty, pops him up to third. A lot of pop-ups in this game. It's amazing. Lineouts and pop-ups. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of the 9 outs, 6 of them are either line outs or pop outs. Very strange. That's just the out distribution right now. So that'll do it for the Yankees. Go to the bottom of the third, still 3-0 Toronto. Out. And here's Jesse Barfield. He's the one that started the home run parade back in the first inning with his 31st home run. Well, they're really getting what they're doing over there. I wonder if it's 2 of them making a lot of noise over there. Hopefully they will go away shortly. As someone once said, hopefully they won't go away bad. They'll just go away. Here's Barfield. 6-5 against Tommy John. That's a split. One's a I'll see lines it to Meacham. And that is a liner to Meacham. 1 away. Or George Bell, who also homered his first time up. And that's a 6-7. 6-7. Right-handed. Ground ball second base X. We are looking at Zuvella. He is a 3E41. Zuvella, a 3E41. 3-2. That's a base hit. Now we'll check the E41 at second base. 11, 13, 3, 17, and 18. That's a 12. So we managed to get around the error, but it is going to be a base hit for George Bell. Bell will reach. Brings up Cecil Fielder. And that is a 5-12. Ground ball pitcher B. Fielder's choice is going to go 1-4. Fielder will reach as the new runner at first. Two down now for Kelly Gruber. Gruber, his first time up. Rounded right back to Tommy John. We get a 5-6, and that's going to be a fly to center. Claudell Washington hauls it in. Innings over. We played 3 complete from Toronto, and it is Toronto 3, Yankees nothing. Jimmy Key, your batter. Or your pitcher, rather, for Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly. Mattingly, his first time up, lined it to second baseman Orge. Trying to get something started for the Yankees. This is the part of the order to do it. Mattingly and Winfield. We had a 2-8 from Mattingly, but he's going to line it to first. 1 away. And here comes Dave Winfield. A 2-7. And that's a base on balls. First walk issued by Jimmy Key. Winfield, no threat to go anywhere, especially down 3-0. And here is Gary Ward. (5-2), and that's going to be a fly ball to right. 2 down. Well, this game engine has several flaws, but I don't know of any game that doesn't. So, but I enjoy everything else about the game, so I tolerate the flaws. Here's Claudell Washington. Lefty, 6-6, and that's going to be a double 1-10, single 11-20. That's a single 2 stars. Going to put runners on the corners and send up Rick Cerrone in a clutch situation. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Cerrone in the clutch against the lefties will lose a couple of hits right here, 3-7 and 3-8. 5-9, and he's going to fly it to right field. Barfield is there, and the Yankees leave a couple on base. Come away empty-handed. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still 3-0 Jays. Tommy John back out, and he'll be facing the bottom of the order. Willie Upshaw, Charlie Moore, and Garth Orge. So Upshaw, his first time up, hit that triple. That's 1-2, and that's a low max to second base, but nobody's on base. Just a regular line out. One away. So that's one of the things I'm trying with this out distribution. I'm really not sure why they put straight out line outs on their cards, because you line outs from the faulty ballpark check. So maybe that's done for advanced. So you get lineouts in advance, but certainly in super advanced, you're going to get tons of lineouts because of the failed ballpark checks. Here's Charlie Moore. And we got spam coming in, so let's get rid of that. All right, Charlie Moore, 6'6". Tommy John. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Meacham. He's trouble. 4E29. Can Meacham even get to this on the AstroTurf? 419, he does. E29, it's short. It's got to avoid 3, 17, and 18. So basically 11, 17, and 18. And that is an 11, and he's not going to avoid the error. So poor Bobby Meacham can't get anything right here. E29 and 11's right there. One base error. One base error on Bobby Meacham. First error of the game on either team belongs to Mr. Meacham. One away. It's my thing here. Looks like it's I don't know. It's not circles in the sand, but it looks like there's something going on here where it's kind of fuzzy. Usually when that happens, it usually clears up shortly. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. Hopefully at least the sound is okay. I don't know. Hopefully it'll pick up here shortly and not be an annoyance. All right, here is Garth Orge. 3-9 for Orge, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. It's going to be a 6-4-3 Giovanni Taylor shop. Tailor-made double play to end the inning. Giovanni's Taylor shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. Be sure to check them out if you have any tailoring need and you're in the Pennsylvania area. Stop by, tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They're the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Taylor shop. Tailor-made double play of the game. And as we can see a close-up here of the tailor-made double play, 3-9 against the left-handed pitcher is a ground ball shortstop A, and that does produce the tailor-made double play to end the inning. We go to the fifth, and it's still 3-0 favor of the Blue Jays. And Mr. Suvella, Mr. 500, we'll call his name. Remember there's a movie called Mr. 300 or Mr. 3000. I think it was one Bernie Mac was in. I think it was Mr. 3000. Suvella, Mr. 500. He is 3 for 6 on the replay despite hitting 176 real world. Of course, he's got at least 28 more at-bats to lower that average. So Suvella, this time he's on his own card, so he's doomed. 3-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to third. One away for Wayne Tollison, the shortstop. That's a 5-7, and that's a ground ball to Orge. Orge is a 4E13. 4-16, he'll get to that. E13, again, 14, 3, and 18 are the error numbers. And that is a 15. So he's managed to just get by with that and make the play. Nice play there by Garth Orge. 2 up and 2 down. Go the Yankees. And Jimmy Key is just doing Jimmy Key stuff here, just kind of rolling along here. And that's going to take us to the top of the order for Ricky. Ricky hasn't been too happy. He hasn't gotten the ball to the infield yet. Liner to short and a pop to first. 3-5, and he's going to draw a base on balls. That means he's going to try to run. So Ricky with the walk, he's going to definitely, it's a no-brainer steal attempt. You got to try to get in scoring position. 6 or a 7 gets him the good lead. He gets a 7, he's going to go. He's a 19, being held as a 17. -4 is a 13. So 65%, you still got to take that risk. You got to get in the scoring position. And he makes it, stolen base. Some channels would not have stolen down 3-0, but that's not this channel. Ricky Henderson, let's check his stolen base totals, both on real world and the season, because the cards don't show it in 87. But fortunately, the computer has all the stats we need. Ricky Henderson, world, stole 41 bases, got caught 8 times. This is stolen base number 17. Has been caught 9 times. So the 17th stolen base of the season for Ricky Henderson. And he is in scoring position with 2 outs now for Bobby Meacham. Turns this into a clutch at bat for Meacham, where he will lose 2 hits, 1-9 and 1-10, also 3-8. Can avoid all of those. If you're Meacham, that is a 5-7. Ground ball second base X again, Orge, 4E13. 4 and an 8. That'll be interesting. They weren't holding Ricky on, so 4 and an 8. He might get to that. He does. G3 pound, good enough. The pound's irrelevant. And then E13 once again. He's got to avoid 14 and 18, basically. And he can't avoid the 14, so Garth Orge will boot it. E13 and a 14 is sitting right there. So it's a 1-base error. It won't score the run, but it will keep the inning going. 1-base error on Mr. Orge. Puts runners at the corners for Don Mattingly. Mattingly in the clutch against lefties will gain a hit on 3-10. That's a 6-6 lefty-lefty. That's going to be the first run of the game. 1 to 10 is a double. 11 to 20 is a single. That is a single, 2 stars. That'll score Ricky and move Meacham to third. Yankees on the board cut the lead to 3-1. RBI 33 on the season for Don Mattingly. And the Yankees hope they aren't done yet, because you got Mr. May, Dave Winfield at the plate. In the clutch for Winfield, he actually is going to gain 1 hit on a 1-3. That's it. That's a 1-6. It's still going to be a base hit, and that's going to score the second run of the game. Mattingly will stop at second. But the RBI single from Dave Winfield cuts the lead to 3-2. So the chunky part of the Yankee lineup doing their job. And here's Gary Ward, also a clutch situation. And Ward in the clutch will gain a hit on 3-4. That's a 5-11 ballpark single check. 1 to 9 for Gary Ward. It would load the bases. That's an 18 instead. So that will be a line out to short for Gary Ward. Whoops. But 2 runs for the Yankees, and they have crawled their way back into this game, 3-2, as we go to the bottom of the 5th. John back out, and he'll face the top of the order. Tony Fernandez, Lloyd Mosby, and Jesse Barfield. 5'10", right-handed, fly ball center field X. Claudell Washington, a 3E5 in center field. So as a 3 outfielder, he has to have a 7 or higher on the D20 to make the catch. It's a 1, so that's going to be a double. Double for Tony Fernandez, making sure there's no error, E5. He's got to avoid 4 and then 16, 17, and 18. And that is a 16. Adding insult to injury. The E5 of Claudell Washington, a 16 is a 2-base error, so that will score the run. So Fernandez will double and then score on the E8. So some shoddy fielding all of a sudden going on. And it's now 4-2 Blue Jays. Here's Lloyd Mosby. Thought we were done with the mower, but they're back again. Can't get rid of them. 6-8. That's a 1-14 single. 15-20 he lines out. And that's a base hit for Lloyd Mosby. Mosby, 2 through 5 to get a lead. And he's got the lead. 19 being held as a 17, minus 1's a 16. 1-16, and he will steal it, which he does. Lloyd Mosby, stolen base. Let's get the stolen base numbers on Mosby. Pretty good base stealer for the Jays. Real world, Mosby stole 39 bases, got caught 7 times. This is stolen base number 15 for him. He's been caught 4 times. So he's in scoring position. Nobody out for Jesse Barfield. The big boys coming up, Barfield and Bell. That's a 2. Balker pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance on Tommy John, but his balk rating is a 0. 6-10, right-handed. That's an in-home run chance, 1-2, 3-20 for a double. That's a double for Jesse Barfield, RBI double. Blue Jays get those 2 runs right back. And the 3-run lead is restored to 5-2. Now Tommy John might be looking for some relief. So the Yankees are bringing out to warm up Cecilio Guante in the bullpen. He can give them some innings if they need them. So he's loosening in the bullpen. Now, just what we need. Question is, should I answer this call? Potential spam. There's the phone number if you want to call back and harass them. You can call back and harass them if you want. But should I answer the call is the question. I wonder. Put them on speaker.
Hi, Dave. Hi.
Somebody's trying to sell me something, so probably should have just clipped it off to begin with. I recognize that call. That's somebody's been trying to sell me crap for a long time. I think it's something to do with home refinancing or something. I don't know, some mess that I don't want to deal with. So anyway, George Bell. 2-8 for Bell, and that's going to be a fly to center. 1 away. 1 down. And that'll bring up Cecil Fielder. 3-8. And that's a single to center field. Barfield will hold at third base. Runners at the corners. We're getting spam calls, lawnmowers. We got all kind of stuff going on here. Most of it not good. Kind of makes you want to go out and walk around the neighborhood and do a YouTube video, doesn't it? All right. Here's Kelly Gruber. Runners at the corners and 1 out. 5-5, and that's a line out to third. There's a dot there, but he has not reached fatigue yet, so the line out will stand. 2 down, clutch situation for Willie Upshaw. In the clutch against lefties, he will lose a hit on 1-3. And we get a 6-4. Pop out to short, another pop out. But the 2 runs come in. And it's going to restore the lead to 3 runs. It's 5-2 as we head to the 6th inning. Jimmy Key, his fatigue is the 7th, so he's still good. And it'll be Claudell Washington, who made that 2-base error in the bottom of the inning. looking to redeem himself. .110, and he won't do it. That's a fly to center, where Mosby puts it away. 1 down for Rick Cerrone. Cerrone is 0 for 2. 4-3. I know that gets stuck in there some. 4-3. Fly ball left field X. That is George Bell. He's a 2E13. 2 and an 8 is still going to be good enough, I do believe. 2 and an 8 is an F2. So now we're checking for the error. He is an E13. He has to avoid 4, 6, 12, 15, and 17. And that is an 11, so that's going to be just fine. On the E13, there is no 11 there. There's a 12 there, but no 11. So play is made by Bell. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Paul Zuvella. So 1-9, and that's a ground ball to short, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. That is 5-3 Toronto. This will be the fatigue inning for Tommy John. Keep an eye on that. Charlie Moore, your batter. Moore walked and reached on an error. 4-9, and this time he's going to get a base hit. And Guante just about ready in the bullpen. Don't know how much longer they want to go with Tommy John here. Here's Garth Orge. That's a 2. Possible balk or pass ball. Possible pass ball on Cerrone, which is a 9. That's a 12. No pass ball. Here's Orge. 2-8 for Orge. Ground ball shortstop B. Fielder's choice. 6-4. Gets the first out of the inning. And here is Tony Fernandez. Switch hitter. Orge at first, not being held. That is a 5-5. Switch hitter batting right. That's another line out to third. There's a dot there, but again, he has not quite yet reached fatigue. So the line out will stand. 2 down for Lloyd Mosby. And we get a 4-7 for Mosby. That's a ground ball shortstop X. Orge not being held, so the shortstop Meacham will keep his 4E29, which is not very good to begin with. 4-11, though, I think he will eke this out. Probably a G3 pound or something. 4-11. No, it's a straight old G3, so no problem there. His problem is his E29. E29 he's got to avoid. He rolled an 11 last time for an error, so he's got to avoid that 11, 17, and 18. Those are the ones to avoid. 12, he barely did it, but he does, and that's going to end the inning. So Tommy John will make it 6 innings, but I think we're with the big righties coming up. I think that's going to be it for Tommy John. He has struggled against Barfield and Bell, so we're not going to put him through that anymore. So we'll cap Tommy John at 6 innings. And we'll go to the box score because I'm not sure how Strat is going to call the earned runs. I'm thinking even though it was a 2-base error, that should be an earned run because it hits that follow. So should be 5 earned runs. I want to confirm that with the Strat-O-Matic computer. I don't see any reason or any way it could be unearned. Nope, they've got him for 5 earned. So 10 hits, 5 earned, walk, and no strikeouts. Kind of a weird thing there. And now here's Guante. Cecilio Guante, your new pitcher in the bottom of the 7th. He's got a +4 hold, makes him a +3. But right now we're at the top of the 7th, and this is the fatigue inning for Jimmy Key. So we'll keep an eye on that. Key going for win number 15 on the replay. Bottom of the order will be Tollison and then Henderson Meacham coming up. And that is a 1-8 against the lefty. Struck him out. Not a lot of strikeouts for Jimmy Key. Not a lot of strikeouts in this game, period. In fact, that's the first strikeout of the game for either side. It took 7 innings took him to the 7th inning to get the first strikeout of the game. That's a little bit unusual that it would do that. But that's just the way the dice roll sometimes. Here's Ricky Henderson back to the top of the order. That's a 1-6, and that's going to be a 1-8 triple. 9-20 would be a double. So we got a triple for Ricky Henderson. 1-out triple. Henderson had 3 triples real world. This is his second triple of the replay. So he's at third base with 1 out for Bobby Meacham. Now the question is, do they pinch hit for Meacham? We are in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is allowed. So they're going to pull Meacham, and they're going to bring up. They're going to let Willie Randolph just hit and take his place at second base. So Willie Randolph will get the call, pinch hit. He was being given the day off, but Lou Piniella says, I need you late. So here we go, Willie Randolph. He will pinch hit here in the 7th. Play second base in the 7th. So Randolph will be the new second baseman. And then Zuvella will move to short. I think Zuvella is rated for shortstop. Yes, he is. So he will be at short. All right, so Willie Randolph trying to drive home this run. Randolph on the replay is hitting .268. 3 homers, 29 driven in, but he had .305 real world. Trying to drive home the run. And again, more spam. Just love the spam calls. Just got to love the spam calls, that's all. Hello, world's worst. All right, here's Randolph. 6-11 against Jimmy Key. It's a ground ball first base X. First baseman is Upshaw. He's a 2E11. 2 and an 8. He should have that no problem. 2 and an 8 is a G2. And error-wise, he's an 11. So the only errors are 6, 8, 15, and 18. And that's an 11, so that's no problem at all. Run should score. G2, runner at third, infield back on a G2. Runner at third, infield back. Runner advances. So that'll score the run. Upshaw's only play is to go to the bag. It's now 5-3. Give Randolph an RBI ground out. Actually, it should have been a 3-1 ground out, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. We'll just leave it alone. Since it was an X check, I usually do 3-1, but not that big of a deal. All right, here's Don Mattingly. 2 outs, bases empty. 1-4 for Mattingly. Oh, he just missed a home run. 1-5 would have been a home run, but 1-4 instead is a fly to center to end the inning. Yankees do get a run, close the gap a little bit at 5-3. And now they will bring on Cecilio Guante to pitch to start the bottom of the 7th. Look at the numbers on Guante, both real world and on the computer. But first, the computer is going to make me make the defensive changes. So we're going to put Zuvella at short and Randolph at second before I do anything else. Then we're going to bring in Guante. So Guante, let's get his numbers real world. Guante in the 1987 season was 3-2 with a 5.73 ERA and 1 save. And on the replay, he is 4-1 with a 3.74 ERA and 3 saves. So it's done a little bit better. 43 innings pitched, 36 hits, 19 walks, 54 strikeouts for Mr. Guante. And he'll be facing the big guys, Barfield, Bell, and Fielder. That's a 110, and that's a ballpark blast for Barfield. Could be home run number 2 of the game. 1-11. And that's a 20, so he got a break there, did Guante. Deep fly to left. One away, and that's going to send up George Bell. That's a 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Gary Ward. He's a 3E6. 3 and a 6. That's going to be close, but I think he'll get to it. 3 and a 6. No, he won't, actually. It's a single. So 3 and a 6 is going to drop in for a single. And an E6, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 14, 17, and 18, which he does, but it is going to drop for a base hit for George Bell. Bell with the base hit. And now they will pinch hit for fielder. They will go to the crime dog, Fred McGriff. He's the left-handed portion of the designated hitter platooning. So Fred McGriff will come on and pinch hit for fielder and stay in the game as the DH. So we have McGriff now. He steps up to the plate. We'll get his numbers on the replay as well as real world. McGriff on the replay is hitting 259 rather. He's hitting 259, 12 homers, 21 driven in. He at 247 real world. So McGriff pinch hitting. And that is a 4-7, and that's a walk for Guante. And that'll put runners at first and second with one out for Kelly Gruber. Normally they use Mullenix against righties, but Gruber's a better defensive player, and they've got the lead, so they're playing more for their defense than they are their offense right now. So they will let Gruber hit. 4-6, and that's another walk from Guante. So Guante now a single and 2 walks have loaded the bases for Willie Upshaw. And now Pat Clement, the lefty, or Pat Clements, I should say, the lefty, loosening for the Yankees. Pat Clements loosening in the Yankee bullpen as Guante is struggling. Willie Upshaw is up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Infield looking for the double play. Upshaw. That's a 5-5, and they won't get a double play. They might get a home run. They might get a grand slam. 5-5 is a 1-2 home run. He's got normal power against righties. So 1-2 is a grand salami. 3-20, it's a base clearing double, most likely. And that's a 9, so it will be a double. We know 2 runs are going to score. Don't know about the third. We'll check that out in just a second. The double is assumed to go to center. So you got Claudel Washington, a -1 arm. Upshaw is Gruber, the trail runner, is a 15. Not being held makes him a 16. -1's a 15. So it'll be a 1-15 to score him. And let's see, do they want to try it? Why not? 1-15, they'll send him. And the Yankees will throw home, which means Upshaw will get the third on the throw. But they just can't let another run score without trying to get him out. So 1-15, he's in there. And he is. So it's a base clearing double from Willie Upshaw. 3 runs will score, and Upshaw will even take third on the throw. And the Blue Jays have blown this thing open. It's now 8-3. Cecilio Guante, obviously not the answer. Infield is in now with 1 out for Charlie Moore. 1-7, that's a strikeout for Guante. Out number 2 for Garth Orge. 6-6, and that's a 1-17 single. This could produce another run. 1-17. Oops, 1-17. Yep, it's an RBI single. That's going to be the 4th run of the inning. Garth Orge with the RBI single. Guante is tired, but they're going to try to get him through the inning. Tony Fernandez, that's a 1. So we'll check Guante's wild pitch rating. Guante, check his wild pitch rating. It's a 14. So that will be a wild pitch. Tony Fernandez, now a clutch situation. 5-5, switch hitter. And that's an in-home run, 1-2. 3-20 will be a double. That's another double and another run, and that's going to be it for Guante. They can't take any more of him. Cecilio Guante, not the answer. If he's the answer, then who the hell knows what the question was? Guante, 2/3 of an inning. They're going to bring in Pat Clements to mop up. So Guante goes 2/3 of an inning. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. At 4 runs for now, or 5 runs for now, but he is responsible for the last guy up here. He walked 2, struck out 1. He's at least responsible for 5 runs. It's 9 to, or he's at least responsible rather for 4 runs, I should say. Shouldn't be 5 there, should it? Why do I only have 2, 1, 2? Why is there only 4 runs showing here? Shouldn't be. It should be 5. Or did I not? I didn't do the orange at bat. I didn't do all the at bats yet. Okay, that's why it's not showing yet. So we get a single. And then we get the double from Fernandez. Oh, I know why Charlie Moore's shouldn't be there. It should be struck out. So I didn't put something in the computer right. So let me fix this real quick. Going back to the Charlie Moore at bat. I didn't put the strikeout in there the way I should have. So let's put Charlie Moore as a strikeout. Then Garth Orridge with the single. And then the double by Fernandez. Actually, the wild pitch comes first. Then the double by Fernandez. And now that's going to be it for Guante. They will bring in Pat Clements. Yankees just falling apart here in this one. And with Jimmy Key pitching, it's all over but the shouting anyway. So Clements is on. And good riddance to Cecilio Guante. Clements, 3-3 with a 4.95 ERA in the real season with 7 saves. In the replay, 1-3 with 3 saves and a 5.05 ERA. Ninth man to bat in the inning is Lloyd Mosby. By rule, is still technically a clutch situation despite the fact that it's 10-3. 2-3 for, didn't even have him up here. Lloyd Mosby, 2-3. He will fly to center, and that will end the inning. So a 5-run inning for Toronto, and they take an enormous lead. Guante is going to be charged with 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning, all earned runs, as a matter of fact. And now Jimmy Key can pitch as long as Jimmy Key wants, or they can bring in a relief pitcher if they want. They can do whatever they want when you're up 10-3. So let's look at the Blue Jay bullpen, see if there's any pitcher out there that needs some work from the bullpen. Any guy that can use a little work here. Jeff Musselman probably could. But we'll see. We'll start with Jimmy Key against Winfield. 210 for Winfield. That's a solid home run. Not sure if Jeff is still watching or not, but that is clean as a baby's butt right there. 210 against the lefty. It's not going to matter. It's now a 10-4 good buddy game. But now Musselman is loosing in the Blue Jay bullpen in back of Jimmy Key. For Winfield, that is home run number 19 on the replay. He had 27 of them real world. RBI number 51 as well. And now we got Gary Ward coming up. It's now a 10-4 ball game. 5'10", right-handed. That's a catcher X. Charlie Moore is a 3 with an E2. 3 and a 2. Nobody's on base, though, so that can help him. 3 and a 2 is going to be a ground ball. It would have been a wild pitch with somebody on base, but it's going to be a ground ball. E2, the only errors are 3, 17, and 18. And so it's a ground ball that Charlie Moore will throw Ward out. 1 away. And that will now send up Claudell Washington. And that's a 3-6 for Claudel, and he will draw the base on balls. That's the third walk issued by Key. Here is Rick Cerrone, catcher. 2-9 for Cerrone. That's another walk, so it could be the Key is fatiguing here. In fact, I think he just might have, he can be very close to his point of weakness. I think one more base runner, he'll reach that. Actually, the computer says he's tired right now. So they're going to go ahead and pull Jimmy Key, and they will bring on Jeff Musselman, another lefty. We'll do some relief pitching, try to finish out the game, not waste any more bullpen arms. 12-5 with a 4.15 ERA for Jeff Musselman. Still, Jimmy Key's looking awful good for his 15th win of the replay. Musselman on the replay from Musselman. He is 3-1 with a 4.66 ERA and 1 save. Rick Cerrone, the batter, first and second, 1 out. I'm sorry, Zuvella now, because Cerrone was already there. So Zuvella that's a 1. So checking Musselman for a wild pitch. It's getting sloppy around here on the gameplay for the Blue Jays. It's an 11 for a wild pitch. And that will not be a wild pitch. So Zuvella, and I don't know if the Yankees even want to bother getting a pinch hitter up if they have anybody else to play the infield. Actually, they do, but they don't have any. Well, they're going to bring in Ron Kittle to pinch hit, and they'll bring in Pagliarulo to play third and move Tollison to short. That's what they'll have to do. So Tollison will move to short. Let's see here. Pags will be at third base. All right, so we're going to pinch hit with Kittle here in the 8th inning. And then Pagliarulo will play third base in the 8th inning. So Ron Kittle get a chance to swing away. Pinch hit. We'll bring in Kittle for Zuvella. And Kittle on the replay. Kittle is hitting .317, 14 homers, 37 driven in. That's a 1-6 against the lefty, struck him out. 2 outs, and that brings up Wayne Tollison. Can't pinch hit for him. We got nobody else to play short, so have to stick with Tollison. It is a clutch at bat still, believe it or not. And Tollison will lose a couple hits in the clutch. That's a 2-4 against the lefty. He's going to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning. So the Yankees get 1 on the home run from Winfield, but that's it. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Clements back out to mop up. And Jimmy Key is going to end up going. Let's see, where did I bring in Jimmy Key? So Jimmy Key is going to go 7 1/3. In fact, I'll go ahead and go to the computer just to get the right information. Computer is asking me to make these defensive changes first, so we will do that. Pagliarulo will come in and play third base. That in the spot formerly held by Zuvella. Tollison will switch from third base to shortstop. Now we can go to the computer. Box score. Get the information on Jimmy Key's outing. Jimmy Key's outing, he goes 7 1/3, gives up 7 hits, 4 runs, only 2 of them earned. Walks 4, strikes out only 1. And then Musselman. And Musselman is, let's see, a 0 hold, so he's a +2. All right. Clements out facing Barfield, Bell, and McGriff. Your scheduled hitters here in the bottom of the 8th. That is a 5-11, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-9 for Barfield. And that's a 2. Barfield gets himself a leadoff single. Blue Jays hit parade continues. That's hit number 15 for them in the ball game to go with their 10 runs. And here is George Bell. Clements to Bell. 1-4, and that's a ground ball third base A for a double play. Boy, a 1-5 would have been a home run, but a 1-4 is a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. Big difference there. Save some embarrassment for the pitching staff as they get to turn 2 on the double play. 2 outs, base is empty. McGriff is your batter. Doesn't normally hit against lefties, but why not? They're up by a huge amount, so why not? Let him go and get an at-bat there. 2-7, struck him out, but it doesn't matter. So for Clements, he comes in and does well. Clements will go an inning and a third, and he gives up a hit, nothing else with a strikeout. So we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Yankees. It'll be the top of the order, Ricky Henderson, to lead things off, followed by Randolph and Mattingly against Musselman in a 10-4 ball game. And I think I'm pretty safe putting the X here and saying that the Blue Jays have 10 runs on 15 hits and an error. Yankees have 2 errors they committed. So let's mop this thing up and get you ready for Friday's game. Ricky Henderson is your batter against Musselman. Whoop, that didn't go through. Let's try it again. That still didn't go through. Boy, I'm just missing the little hole there, aren't I? There we go. 3-8 for Ricky, and that's a walk. But down 10-4, even Ricky's not going to try to steal down 10-4. So he'll just stay where he is. And here's Willie Randolph. And that's a 6-7 for Randolph. And that's a ground ball second base X. They were holding Ricky on, though. So second baseman Orge will now be a 5E13. 5 and a 6 is going to be a base hit, almost assuredly. It is going to be an SI2. So the only difference between a 4 and a 5 is the SI2 versus an SI1. And now let's make sure Orge doesn't make an error. E13. E13, he's got to avoid 14 and 18, which he does. It's a rare play, but boy, do we need to go back to these rare plays. SI2, rare play. Well, this one's a little bit, this one will, as the batter rounds first, the fielder throws behind him and catches him for the out. That's not realistic because the ball went to left field. No, it did go to right field, went past Orge, didn't it? So it actually is realistic. I could see Barfield throwing behind the runner and catching Randolph off of there. So he's out 9-3. That time the rare play at least had something going for it. So Barfield caught Willie Randolph napping there. Rounding second too hard. Threw behind him, and they get the cheap out there. So one away with Ricky at third. Infield, of course, is back. And here is Mattingly. And that's a 4-5. That's going to be at least a sacrifice fly, if nothing else. 1-8, though, would be a triple for Mattingly, but I don't think he had any triple. He had 2 of them, actually. But he's already hit 3 triples in the real season, so I don't want it to be a triple fest. So we'll probably knock that down to a double either way. But 1-8, it's going to be a double. 9-20, it's a sacrifice fly. And that will be a sacrifice fly for Don Mattingly, scoring Henderson. Makes it 10-5, but now there are 2 outs and the bases are cleared. And Mr. May, Dave Winfield, the last hope for the Yankees. 3-5, and he's going to draw a walk. not what Toronto is wanting. They want to finish up this game. They don't want to keep messing around here. Gary Ward, your batter. 110, and that's a single. So Musselman having a hard time finishing off this game. Here's Claudell Washington. If he doesn't get Claudell Washington, we're going to have Hinkie get up in the bullpen and close this thing. That's a 2. Balker pass ball. Looking at a balk chance on Musselman. Musselman is actually tired per the computer, but they're going to try to finish him out. Let him finish the game if possible. His balk rating is a 13, so very good chance he can make a balk here. He does not. So here's Claudell. It is a clutch situation for Claudell. He will gain some hits here. 2-5, 2-11, and 3-10. That's a 1-9, and he's going to get a double to right field. And I think that's going to do it for Musselman. I don't think they can go with Musselman anymore. 2 runs have come in. I think we turn into a save situation now. Ward is going to hold at third base. Double by Claudell Washington makes it 10-6. Tying run is on deck, which by rule is a save situation. So with that being the case, Toronto didn't think they were going to have to do it, but they're going to go to their closer, Tom Hinkie, to try to get the last out of the ball game. So Tom Hinkie is on. They were giving Musselman every opportunity to finish the game, but he just couldn't do it. So Tom Hinkie is on to face Rick Cerrone of the Yankees. So we'll get the numbers on Hinkie, as Musselman just had an opportunity to finish the game out and couldn't get it done. Quite just plain that simple. Hinkie on the replay. I'm sorry, real world Hinkie is 0-6 with 34 saves, a 2.49 ERA. On the replay, he's 0-3 with a 3.65 ERA and 19 saves. So going for the save here against Rick Cerrone. That's a 3.10 for Cerrone, and he gets hit by the pitch. So he comes in and plunks him. And that's going to bring up Mike Pagliarulo, his first at bat of the game. He is the tying run at the plate. Pagliarulo on the replay is hitting 252, 21 homers, 45 driven in. He had 234 real world. If he goes deep, that's a 2 on Hinkie. If he goes deep, we got a tie game. That's a pass ball chance on Cerrone, which is a 9. It's no pass ball. But Pagliarulo, if he happens to get one of those ballpark blasts, or if he finds column 3 at all, he's got a good shot here. Found column 2, though. 2 sevens, a strikeout, and that's the ball game. But the Yankees put a little scare into Toronto, putting up 2 runs on the board. Final score 10-6. 6 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors for the Yankees. Hinkie will get the save. That is his 20th save on the replay. For Tom Hinkie, he goes a third of an inning with a strikeout and a hit batter. Get the numbers on Musselman shortly. But let's put the strikeout in the system and get this one wrapped up. This one went a ways. This one went a long ways. A little bit of a journey there on this one, time-wise. So, winning pitcher Jimmy Key is now 15-2. Musselman went an inning and a third, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs, walking 2 and striking out 1. The loss to Tommy John, he drops to 4-4. Hinkie with his 20th save. Player of the game, Jesse Barfield, 3 for 5 with 2 runs batted in for Jesse Barfield. So we'll give him the player of the game. He started the scoring off in the first inning with a home run, then had a nice double here. So Jesse Barfield, your player of the game. The Blue Jays with the victory. Yankees left 11 runners on base. That was another thing that hurt them. Blue Jays only 7. But if we look at the standings up to the second now, with this win, the Blue Jays pulled within 4.5 of Milwaukee. And if Detroit can beat Milwaukee tomorrow, the difference would be only 4 games. So with a big game tomorrow in Milwaukee, Tigers and the Brew Crew. That'll be tomorrow to wrap out the week. And as we look at tomorrow's score sheet, we're going to have Walt Terrell for the Yankees. I'm sorry, for the Tigers against Bill Wegman for the Brewers. That'll be on tap tomorrow. This afternoon around 3 o'clock, it'll be Getaway Day in Philadelphia for the 2025 Colorado Rockies. They will play Game 6, third and final game of the Philly series, which was a day game. It was a getaway day on a Thursday. So we're gonna play that at roughly 3 o'clock to kind of mimic that. And they'll be going home to face the Athletics starting tomorrow night. But we're going to have that game around 3 o'clock. I want to get it done before Spokane Steve plays his games. And then tonight around, I don't know, 8 or 8:30 or so, it's already been pre-recorded, so I'm just going to upload it. It's the first, second, and third rounds of the Valspar Classic History Maker Golf from Valspar in Florida. Final game of the final tournament of the Florida Swing. And then the week after that, we head to the Valero Open in Texas. And in 2 weeks, it'll be the Masters. But first, second, and third rounds of the Valero Championship, that will be tonight. It's already been pre-recorded, but I do want to put it out tonight so that you have time to digest it. And then I have time on Friday to play the front nine and then get everything ready for Saturday night and the final round of the Valspar Classic. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great Thursday, whatever you have planned. Again, Blue Jays take care of the Yankees, although they had to put up with a scare late, 10-6 the final. Jimmy Key gets his league-leading 15th win, and the Blue Jays pull within 4.5 of the Brew Crew and looking for help from the Tigers tomorrow to try to close that gap. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I'll see you all down the road.